You just revealed that you think North America is only Americans. But what if this is a double bamboozle? What if he's like, well, I think that Americans is including Canadians and Mexicans. And I think all y'all are arrogant. So now you're the one who's misconceptioning. No, that's not possible. Everyone refers to the USA citizens as Americans. Spent a lot of time talking about nothing to get us into this game. You're welcome. Bottom left, we have Alpha X's Vindicta. And the top right, it is Psystorm's Epic. So really two born in North America organizations, even though they've definitely branched out to other regions. Make him a Maru Labadabadub. Maru Labadabadub. Maru Labadabadub. Mega Team and hire Maru. Do you think I make that much money to pay any player? Much less Maru? Hello? And he started getting better around the time Neuro joined the scene. Huh. Interesting. Conspiracy. The best kind of conspiracy. Drama every week, those are the days. Some of it was... I hesitate to say juicy, because, you know, obviously some of the people involved were very much not enjoying it. I mean, generally, I'd say that people enjoy being a part of drama as a spectator, but they don't want to be, you know, a part of the drama. So there's that. But I do feel like there was some more... The thing that people really liked about, like, 2010, 11, kind of 12, was that our villains were, I think, very much appropriately more so named to heal, as in, like, they were playing a bit of a part, and it was all about the competition anyways. So no one was actually a dickbag, right? Like, apparently a bunch of those guys who play bad guys in WWE and whatnot, you know, at least half of them were actually pretty great people. And that's awesome. But then at some point, it felt like we lost our kind of cartoon villains, if you will, our competition villains, and we actually gained, like, actual real-life evil people. And that wasn't as fun. We do have some factory expands coming in here, and nothing too much more interesting beyond that. So we do have a funny situation right now. Oh, Epic actually got his Reaper trapped. Where they both sent their Reapers across the map. So the question was, who did Riper? Micro the Reapers better. And the answer was Vindicta, who killed 3 SCVs instead of 2 and kept 1 Reaper alive. There you go. TvT. Oh yeah. Did I see the Giant Grant Games video? I didn't see it, but I read the responses, and from my understanding, it was a video about how Blizzard should have highlighted the arcade more. It is like the general TLDR. That's all I ever saw anyone like post about it, was like, I absolutely agree. Like, arcades are my favorite part of Warcraft, and they're the reason I kept coming back to the game, and if I sound unimpressed, it's because I have literally gone on this rant at least once every year. Which isn't actually that many, you would think, but I've been a part of this scene for 11 years now. And I'm pretty sure I've gone on the rant at least more like 3 or 4 times a year, so I'm just throwing it out there. So if you're about to ask me if I agree with them, yeah, I also came from the idea of, like, I was a young kid, the internet was spooky and scary, but I found this Warcraft 3 thing and I could play arcade games in it. And that was fun. People are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch. Is there actually any context whatsoever to him hating the Dutch? Oh, we do have a slightly interesting opener. Vindicta bringing out a medevac gives us some mid-game action, and actually, ooh, that Cyclone. Surprisingly close to getting Epic's Raven. That would have been really bad. Fortunately for Epic, it does not. Epic only went for one Raven by the looks of things. Yes, he did. Already swapped off to a couple of Vikings and is already on his way to Stim research. So, a very big difference of these build orders. Oh, the Cyclone goes to the lock-on, doesn't actually get it, but the Cyclone also lives. Okay, the Marines die. The Cyclone's still alive? Really? Even with the splash? I guess the splash didn't really hit it. And now with the Vikings from Epic, he should actually win this particular battle. This actually... I feel like this opener works out really well for Epic against Vindicta's particular opener. The only thing that go wrong for Epic is if he did lose his Raven, which was dangerously close to happening now twice at this point, and he should probably just send that thing back home. Honestly, yeah, the Viking does get killed by the Cyclone, but it's still a better thing to lose than losing the Raven. Yeah, all things considered, I feel like that was going to be perfect against what Vindicta was doing. So Epic gets the auto turret to help out a little bit. That's all fine and dandy, but gets Vikings a lot faster, which I think do a better job of kind of instantly pushing away what Vindicta does. Double Raven would have eventually done so, yes. And we'll see the reasons why Double Raven are a good thing to have here if Epic actually pushed the issue. But Epic does not push the issue. But where Epic does not have two Ravens, again, he had those Vikings pop out, he pushed it back fairly easily. It took a little time, there wasn't the perfect control, yeah, sure, but he pushes it back. And he has much faster stim because of it. So that's now what we're going to focus on. He's got faster stim and combat shields, not just because he swapped off his Raven and his Vikings and all that, but because he actually delayed his third CC. So... now the question is, Epic, okay, you didn't take a whole lot of damage from Vindicta's opening medevac, cool, great. Can you actually make this 3 racks on 2 base opener better than Vindicta's faster 3cc? I want to say yes. I'm just going to actually say yes. I think Epic absolutely does make it better. Because Vindicta's going to be holed up on 2 bases for a while longer anyways. He doesn't have stim. And as such, he won't have combat shields for a while, so he'll be blasted away by those tanks super quickly. His double Raven, I don't think is actually going to cover that. When he does finally have stim, when he does finally have a decent number of Marines, Vindicta will have also, you know, a handful of auto turrets to help out, or interference matrix, and that's fantastic, but that's so miles off, I feel. Again, no stim, but also very limited production. He hasn't been working off of 3 barracks this entire time. Those only just finished the reactors. So Epic, rightly so, gets his 3cc on location, 3rd CC on location, and even gets a sensor tower up, whereas Vindicta kind of awkwardly chooses to go for a sensor tower in the main. I actually don't think that's a wrong thing to do. You know, awkward's usually bad. And in this case, I think it still is to a degree, but I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's a bad decision. It just means that his sensor tower isn't going to be more appropriately placed for future TvT. So this is a very, like, I'm in a kind of weird position right now, so I'm just going to cover what I can. And that's okay. But to continue at Epic's pace of a TvT, Vindicta needs to get his 3rd ASAP. An interference matrix on Epic's Raven. Well, I guess he had interference matrix to spare. Vindicta takes out 2 tanks in the front line, stops his opponent's Raven from dittoing the interference matrix, right? Oh no, oh no, oh no, Epic does a drop into the natural, kills 18 SCVs, whereas Vindicta's drop into the natural only kills 3? That's a very oh no. Epic did lose a lot of his forward pressing power, thanks to the 2 tank losses, and these 2 tanks apparently were close to death as well. Did he get chased down? It looks like there was another scuffle, maybe? Anyways, Epic comes out of this far ahead economically. He's even going to match up those upgrades, which Vindicta did have ahead. He was ahead on that, right? So, no longer. Epic actually going to even up 1-1. Their armory timings are very, very similar. And now the question is, where is the advantage for who? And it's Epic's advantage, 20 workers ahead, 4th CC already 80% done, cleaning up a drop on his side of the map as well. The only thing Epic doesn't have is the double Raven, which we're really in that period of TvT right now where it's kind of arguable that double Raven will actually do as much as you would hope. Basically, yes, double Raven would be very useful if it worked out perfectly. Perfectly. But does it when we're on more of the Marine tank phase? Usually not. When they're talking about a lot of Marine tank, I would say usually not. The Ravens fly over something and they die. The Raven's anti-armor missile, but the fight's already over, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see. And of course, eventually we'll get to the point, well, in this game, I don't know. But if it was a very even TvT, we'll eventually get to the point where that Raven count just means that he's going to have a higher start, a higher base as we move on into starports. But we're not there yet in this TvT, and Epic does have a considerable lead in this game. So I don't know if we'll get to multiple starports. If Vindicta could pick off a couple of tanks here, that might be worth. No, he doesn't actually react fast enough. So he moved his army, he looked back to macro, went to go move his army, but then the tanks were already sieged up. And speaking of sieged up tanks, Epic's attempt to catch Vindicta off guard also did not work. Now he positions his army, hopefully, probably hoping that A, it's left alone, or B, the Vikings chase it, or C, he catches this army coming back home. None of those things happen. So Epic does just get pushed back on that particular drop, run by, whatever it was going to be. Vindicta tried to go for his double medevac drop, which was off to the very far right, chose the third, but that's when Epic's army was actually moving through his own third, so that was a bit awkwardly timed. And Epic is keeping his lead for sure. So that's, again, 10 workers and 20 army supply. And those 10 workers will mostly benefit him, not necessarily in the bank, but that is another benefit. He's going to have a bigger bank. He's going to have more potential whoopsie-daisies before actually dying. He's also going to, well, should have faster starports and starport production. He doesn't... Oh, there it is. Wait, where the hell are they? Oh, they're just literally right there. And right there. Okay, okay, so at the third and the fourth. It's basically where Epic put his starport. So he does have more starport production. Okay, so that's what he should have. He should be able to afford, with the significant economic lead that he had, faster starports. I was going with 3, he went up to 5. Okay, yeah, fair enough. And then also having a bigger bank, which is also true. And at this point, he's also just maxed out, where Vindicta is still struggling. Vindicta has absolutely been playing from a comeback mentality for a while at this point. And you would have hoped, I think, that you barely would be maxing out around this time, even with his setbacks. But still not there. And that's mostly due to the fact that he knows he also has to transition to air, right? Vindicta would have maxed out as fast as Epic if he had just gone for Marine Tank. But, okay, let's just watch this attack unfold. Okay, alright, so the planetary is going to really help here for Vindicta. He is going to hold the line, but he has been pushed pretty deep into his own side of the map. Also continue losing some of these Vikings. So anyways, what I was trying to point out was that Vindicta knows that he can't just play the Marine tank game, because if he does, he has no Vikings, he has no Ravens, then Epic's going to win that portion of a TvT anyway. So he was trying to do both. He was trying to live as well as transition himself. But right then and there, all of his ground army was not positioned to stop Epic's little push. So it was a bit scary. It was. But it looks like things have calmed down. Epic, I think rightfully eager to push into this location, saw an opportunity. I think he was mostly right about it. But at the end of the day, they actually come out of here with even army supplies. And Vindicta chooses a pretty good time to break the tank line as well. Epic's reinforcements were almost to the front line, and they've been there. Vindicta would have just lost all of his Marines, would have been, forced back at the very least, and then Epic would start using his Ravens, which he got those 5 starports pretty darn quickly, but didn't actually produce from them all that quickly. Some of the problem being that he actually was maxed out. But now he's got that. And how much has he dug into Vindicta's air transition? Decent amounts. Vindicta had, I want to say, at least 10 Vikings. When Epic pushed in, now we're down to just 4. Also, Vindicta went for Liberators. Ooh. I'm guessing he made a round of Liberators thinking, oh, I have the air advantage. But unfortunately, making like a really legit round, like 4 all at once, is probably going to be a waste for him. We'll see, we'll see. Because he's not winning the air battle anymore is the problem, you know? If Epic was like, air, who wants to do that? That's stupid. Then Vindicta is totally right to get Liberators, but, you know, Epic's not. He's not just going to scoff at an entire portion of TvT. He has also gone into his own late game. So now Vindicta is going to have 4 Liberators, which probably won't contribute very much, but be down a couple of Vikings and at half the Raven count of his opponent. And that Raven count would be hard to beat anyways, just because, again, 3 starports versus 5. But he's just completely also missing the Viking battle. They both max out. And I think Vindicta's actually going to even out the Viking battle. There's that, but Epic has certainly taken advantage of his advantage. Faster 4th led to a faster 5th, and we have a faster 6th. We have extra orbitals coming down as well, already built too. I mean, Epic has done everything correctly. Well, like 80% correctly for the position he found himself in. We have a classic late game TvT battle. Everything is painted orange, and those Liberators, like I said, probably not contributing all that much. I think maybe 1 shot was had from those Liberators. The problem was Vindicta was already broken. Liberators are no. Everything else was already broken. The concave came in for Epic, which was quite good actually, coming in from 2 different locations as well. And Vindicta's army, only a portion of it was actually on the front lines once again. A portion of it wasn't even sieged. And then the other portion is coming in now like, hey, did we miss something? A little bit. So whereas Epic's last attempt to kind of just end the game right then and there, right, was actually stopped. It was stunted. My cat was just being a dick. Yeah, this one worked out really well.
Twitch Prime sub received.
I literally
Thank you
looked to my right, and Apollo was like in like his like crouch like cat hunting mode on my table. And I was like, what the hell are you hunting? Then I look on my carpet, and there's poor Nugget doing the crouch escape cat thing, and I was like, you son of a bitch, Apollo. I tried to stop him. He was not stopped. He went and chased her. Thank you, True Chains 24 for the 26 months. At this point, Epic should win this game. Not easily, I suppose, because, you know, TvT things, but he should absolutely win this game. And Prometheum, what's up? $50 being dropped. Hot diggity damn. Thank you very much, Prometheum. So is Epic going to get his victory here? The Ravens came in with the Interference Matrix. Vindicta looks like he unsieged them in anticipation, but there's only so much you can do. The tanks still die. Only 1 is left alive to try and guard Vindicta's 4 bases. And while his Marine count is still fairly healthy, it's just a matter of time, isn't it? Marines alone would have to be in very good numbers to take on all these tanks. And they are not, I think, in good enough numbers. Vindicta's gonna try his darndest, though. You can see him actually splitting Marines 4 to try and tank shots. We saw his at best attempt at concaving, even though he was given limited space, but it's not gonna be good enough. GG, Epic takes game 1. And really, I don't think either player did anything glaringly wrong. There was some better micro opportunities to be really critical when it came to the early game, right? But I'd say that they pretty much played out as expectations. And then the rest of the game also kind of played out as expected, except that Vindicta was caught in this really difficult place where his aggressive opener didn't really work and didn't last long enough to actually get his 3rd on location. So Vindicta, it actually, at the end of the day, it almost looked like a build order loss. Not like a super, super harsh one, like GG, just tap out right then and there, but still, like, not exactly sure how he was going to make that look any better. Because Epic was able to get the resources and the units out quickly enough to stop the medevac harassment. Just right there, nip it in the bud. And then he also had that production to carry on and contain Vindicta. So I'm sure you give that same game to Maru when he shows exactly how you're supposed to do it. And Vindicta is screwed. Or Epic is screwed, rather. Epic is screwed because he's facing Maru, but... I mean, I think even Maru would do the same thing Vindicta did, which is like say, oh, okay, this is awkward.
Apparently you are doing something right,
I guess I gotta just kind of play my best TvT possible and slowly come out of here, slowly expand. I think the biggest difference, if I am literally comparing Vindicta to Maru, which is awfully harsh, but I think the biggest difference would be that Maru always has the hate squads, right? So Maru always has a couple of drops trying to not drop in, but rush in. And maybe that would have been better. There was literally 2 drops that Vindicta sent into the 3rd base that I think, well, they would have died actually anyways. They literally ran into Epic's army. That was just very unfortunate timing. But then also the Ravens, they weren't really being used on defensive because eventually Vindicta had enough stuff to defend his 3rd. Maybe they could have been used for auto turret harassment, which at 8-9 minutes of a TvT, auto turret harassment is going to get you maybe 10 SCVs. But at 8 or 9 minutes, is that all that impactful?
Thank you for becoming
Oh, and
a
of course, it
member.
wasn't even just their particular build orders, or that Vindicta was contained, right? There was that drop. There was that drop that killed like 16 SCVs. Totally forgot about that one. Yeah, so Vindicta probably would have been in a slightly awkward situation with how things played out as far as the openers went, but it was increasingly awkward and definitely a game of comebacks when he took 16 SCVs worth of damage. Yeah. Can't really fault Vindicta for losing that one, but he gave it a hell of a try to actually win it. Top left, Vindicta sending out 2 SCVs, by the way. Bottom right, Epic. And just to talk about Epic here, Epic, as I was saying, I don't think he did anything really wrong. Whereas we can kind of directly compare Vindicta's really difficult comeback to a Maru comeback, because Maru has a ton of them in TvT. For Epic, he was kind of doing, I think, what any Terran would do. Any good Terran would do who actually knows the matchup, which is, you know, get ahead, then get further ahead with the economy, be aggressive but not overcommit, make sure to transition faster than your opponent. The only problem was perhaps the way that he used kind of his mid-game army transition could have been problematic if he had overextended with his Marine tank army before he added Ravens. Then you're caught kind of 20, 30 supply down, and the guy on the defense goes, oh, wait a second, I can actually like make something happen here. But otherwise, I thought Epic played a very solid game. Now he's up against the cheesiest of the cheesiest T-Rex, right in Epic's natural base. And Epic is going for a factory expand, but he's not SCV scouting, which isn't, I would never say that it's overkill to SCV scout with a factory expand, but a lot of people would consider I'm factory expanding, I don't need to SCV scout because I should be able to respond whatever they're doing. Technically, that is usually true. The only awkward thing about this is Epic might... Well, first of all, he might get his command center canceled. So that's the first awkward thing. Second of all, if his Reaper came back and he wasn't controlling it, he might lose his first Reaper. And if he lost his first Reaper with no contest, then Epic just dies. So that's the most awkward thing about defending a T-Rex as a no-scout factory expand, I would say. But if that doesn't happen, if the Reaper doesn't die, then you should be able to defend. And now the question is, how quickly do you defend? How good do you defend to send a Vindicta packing home so you can actually get your faster command center? Unfortunately, it's looking like it's not going to be the greatest of defenses, just because Epic did get the command center on the low ground, had to cancel it, boom, 100 minerals down. And then also this bunker that Vindicta got is going to add another complication. Why did he... Oh, I guess he assumed that if the barracks... Okay, I can kind of see why he did this, but this is This is kind of bad. 2 Hellions, unable to defeat 5 Reapers. Oh. Oh no. Oh. Wait a second. But Vindicta doesn't have anything back at home either. Oh my god, Epic. Okay, he realized. Woo! He almost just gave up his equalizing opportunity. In fact, he might still have only 1 Reaper dying, but still, that's far less firepower. And Vindicta is controlling his Reapers to take out the Hellions on the other side of the map, and Epic can't afford a Cyclone. This game's over. GG. Wow, that got awkward super quick. Thank you, 47ers, for the 200 bits, as well as Scout C Justice for the gift sub. Whoop, whoop. Does my cat not have a tail? He has a very tiny tail. He has a bobtail, because he is a bobtail. Did I see game 5 of Clam Time? No. I didn't catch any of the Open Cup. Oh, Seal Pup for the 27 months. That'll be 3 babies and counting.
Warning.
Just commentate the cats.
Programs detected in comm server 0.
Cat lining up its seeker missile. That's exactly what Apollo was doing. I don't remember if I got True Chains, but thank you.
Thank you
for the resub.
Overmind.
I think I did. 47 is also gifting 3 subs. Thank you very much. Constant A Mover. The 8-month Prime sub. Shadone. Isn't it like 2 in the morning? What are you doing here? You playing? Well, while I'm looking at chat, took a gander at the bracket. The winner of this does face Hero. Other names still in the brackets that are contenders, at the very least, for the semifinals. Trigger still in here. Gumiho, Golden's playing, although I do think Golden's going to lose to Special. Courier is playing today. Piggly Wiggly is still actually playing. He's not casting yet. Ooh, Nice versus Nina is actually a really fun round of 32 PvP. It seems like it's happening way too early.
Received. Thank you for appeasing the overmind.
It's a bit unfortunate. It should favor Nina, I think, because just, well, a lot because of the ping. But I don't know, PvP's weird all over the place. And Max Pax is still in it. Probably hoping, looking to win it. Everyone hopes they win this, but Max Pax has a real good shot. Kansa A Mover, 8 months, and now Nana. Manana. And Nana, 1,000 for the 11-month resub. Didn't know that a bobtail was a type of cat. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. 2 factory expands to open things up here. No proxy rocks. Last game got very awkward because 2 things happened. Epic took a, most of the time, unexpected loss as the factory expand player. He had to cancel a command center, which he just... If Vindicta proxies his Reapers elsewhere, or if Epic actually scouts that it's a proxy T-Rex, I guess is more accurate, then yeah, his command center doesn't go down on location. Or, yeah, if Vindicta's T-Rex are elsewhere, then the command center is not at like 10% health, it's at 25% health, right? Which makes a big difference. The bunker probably doesn't get built too, so maybe there is that chance to actually literally defend the command center. It's just very different. It's just very different. But the second and biggest problem in that game for Epic was that he did gamble and sent his Reapers across the map thinking that 2 Hellions would be enough. When I think really Epic would know he needed to get those lined up shots on the ramp. I would not be surprised at all if he had actually kind of put that into his brain, saying, okay, I get the shot on the ramp, I'm good. If I don't, oh geez. It's also possible he just underestimated Vindicta's tenacity with Reapers, thinking, oh, Hellions on top of a ramp, no way this guy's gonna push up. That's very possible as well. But Vindicta, he's like a little Maru. I want to say a Maru wannabe because that sounds mean, but... Vindicta wants to be known for cool micro tricks.
Received. Thank you for appeasing the overmind.
Attention, Samurai. Thank you for the 17 months. Bobtail. Bob. And Moonglow, 42 for the Prime sub. Thank you as well. Yeah, bobtail. Not just one type of bobtail. There are at least 2 types of cat bobtails. The more you know. I think a lot of people who, especially who aren't cat people, who don't have cats, have never had a cat, are interested in cats, probably don't even know that there are different types of cats, breeds of cats. And I think, you know, it's kind of one of those things where I think a lot of people are like, what? There's different breeds? Oh, you know what? That does make sense. It's just like there's a little gap in like the mind, but they get over it pretty quickly. But I can see people just not realizing. Well, that was a potentially terrible engagement from Epic, just because he was going up the ramp. But it was also potentially terrible for Vindicta. I mean, when it comes down to grenades and Hellions, I want to say that micro is paramount, and it is absolutely important, but positioning should be even more important. So Epic goes a little bit ring around the rosy, catches Vindicta totally unawares, gets the high ground, but uses his Reapers to get up onto the main base, which left his Hellions alone. And I'm thinking that Epic is not... Well, hold on. 8 SCVs. Okay, let me think about this. Yeah, that was worth it. Yeah, that was worth it. Okay. So the only thing I was going to say is that had he not sent his Reapers up to the high ground, he probably can win this battle. But if all he does to get around Vindicta is just chill on this ramp to win a Reaper Hellion battle, what has he really done with his life? What has he really done? Probably not a lot. Instead, going for the SCVs guarantees that he got some SCV kills, and he certainly did. And then the counterattack from Vindicta is very low. Because, yeah, the army supplies might be better for Vindicta, but it's Reaper Hellion army supplies, so are you really scared of that? Generally, no. But Vindicta did once again go for a medevac opener with a tank coming out first and foremost as well. And that's the only reason this is scary. If it was just the Reapers, it's not nearly as bad, but even so, Epic's going to push us away. He's going to get the tank and not quite get the medevac, but that means that his Reaper hop up in the main was absolutely worth it. He is 9 workers ahead, he handles the counterattack, and the only thing Vindicta is left with to say that he's got something in this game is a medevac to potentially do further harassment. And that's a big potentially there, it probably shouldn't. Jed TN, thank you for the 13 months. My leaf. So everywhere else, Epic's just ahead. Again, economy, stim-wise, third CC is actually quite close. And Epic is... Oh, okay, so here's the difference between their 2 follow-up decisions. Vindicta is intentionally delaying his tank production to get barracks production. And I do believe it's intentional. It might not seem like a super big deal. Especially because, let's be honest, almost everyone in chat would just naturally be late producing that tank. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was intentional. Because I was wondering, okay, why is someone with more economy getting a later barracks? It's because they're actually still producing tanks. So, Vindicta might have more Marines to play with. He's got more Play-Doh that's a little more malleable than tanks, which are obviously immobile and they have the siege to be really effective. But he's not going to have the siege units, which they're mobile, they have to be sieged, but damn, they're good. They're a pretty good unit. Two types of cat breeds are Garfield and Normal. Normal? Oh. I love the attempt at the Reapers from Vindicta. It's so cute. It's so annoying for Epic. There we go. So I knew there were different breeds for cats, right? Having been a certified cat lady since I was probably, basically born. Because we had long hair and short hair, and we had adopted 2 half Persian kittens, which are very cute, but their faces were squished. But I was also fascinated to learn about this bobtail thing. Which I'll get into later. This ends up being, I think, a decent attack for Vindicta. Oh, wait, no, the Vikings. Hold on. Oh, no. Yeah, just kidding. Epic had so many Vikings. I temporarily got Viking blind because they were over a bunch of tanks, but they were there. And Epic absolutely wins that. So I liked Vindicta's idea to basically go, aha, gotcha, to Epic as he moved to the middle of the map. So if Epic just, moves as a blob into the 3-4 tanks, whatever it was that was sieged up, then he doesn't actually take that fight, most likely. He goes, oh shit, and then he runs back home. But because Epic actually seemed to know that was the plan, he didn't just have a blob. He had his units kind of at the concave. Even 3 units over to the right side is a big contributor to these tinier marine tank battles, because they're taking an entire tank, maybe 2 shots, for very ineffective damage as far as the tanks would want, right? So Epic started that battle as well as one could, but the Vikings were really the cherry on top to just 100% actually win it. And Epic continues with his lead. Combat shield's already being done. Vindicta's about to have it, but he is much later to that +1 armor, so that's a problem. Shouldn't have the gas by the looks of things. Epic plays, I think, just pretty good TvT. I don't remember exactly what matchup I was impressed with Epic before. Because I had mentioned in his game versus Neuro that I've seen Epic play these really, just quite clean games. And his first game versus Neuro was not that, just if anyone missed it. But I was like, no, but I know he can. And now we're getting it here in TvT. I feel like these are very clean games. Maybe it was TvT. Maybe he actually just has really solid TvT. The last time I would have cast Epic, though... TSL qualifiers? Because I don't think he did the last chance qualifier. I'm not sure. Anyways. Oh, this is awkward. Vindicta's gonna get bopped by kind of the same runaround as last time, and his big drop into the main base is going to lose at least one of the medevacs to the missile turrets, if not all of them. The medevacs do run away, but is that enough dropped out? Epic is not